So hi everybody. Thank you very much for joining our panel. We're all super excited to be here, and especially this year. How many here are not from Israel? Because we're going to do it still in English. Awesome. So first of all, I wanted to start with saying, and I'm saying it to everyone that I see here around, special thanks for everyone that came from abroad this year. This is super important. This is super important to support the industry in Israel and the Israeli clients and partners. And so thank you very much. So I'm Omer. Not usually starting with this, but I'm originally grew up in southern Israel in Moshav Ezel. So I started with this today. So first time to say my introduction with that. I'm the VP marketing of Whalo, which is a fairly new gaming startup funded by the founders of Jelly Button, and a very kick-ass product with an excellent A-list team, and we are going to make super interesting things this year. Prior to that, been heading marketing operations and performance marketing in Playstudios and couple of startups before that. And we have a great panel here today. We're going to talk about growth in 2024. And we're going to start with Tomer.
So hi everyone, I'm Tomer, nice to meet you all. I've been working at Lightricks for the past year or so, leading the growth marketing activities, basically everything that is not the most favorable search and social aspects of the performance marketing, everything from DSPs, connected TVs, SDK networks, etc., native content. At Lightricks, if none of you are familiar, or if someone is familiar, so we're a 10-year-old company and then some, having photo and video editing apps. Facetune is the most familiar one. I'm sure that Facetune is much more familiar than Lightricks. Using our own Gen AI capabilities, of course, using Stable Diffusion, but also using a lot of models that we developed internally in order to give great services, alongside some new initiatives like our latest LTX Studio, which is a storytelling product, which is dedicated for both B2C and B2B, but gives everyone a chance to create an entire storyboard with a basic prompt, being able to edit it from A to Z and create video ads or pitch for movies, etc. So nice to meet you.
Hi everyone. I'm Chen from SciPlay. I've been working in SciPlay for the past 8 years in several roles in monetization and marketing. In my current position, I'm leading the growth for our IAP apps. And just for those of you who are unfamiliar with us, SciPlay is a leading developer and publisher of digital games on mobile and web. Our portfolio includes the most authentic social casino games in the market. Between our titles, you can find Jackpot Party, Quick Hit Slots, 88 Fortunes, and much more. Yeah, super excited to be here with you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ofir. I'm the founder and also heading R&D for Personally. We are an in-app DSP for user acquisition and retargeting. We recently celebrated our bar mitzvah for the business, so that's a great achievement. We started off from gaming. These days we're trying to diversify into e-commerce and fintech as well, and happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Talia. Can you hear me? No. This is why I hate the mics. So I'm Talia from Playstudios. Yes, Omer used to be my manager. I've been working there for the past 4 years, and currently I'm leading the performance marketing for our casual category, which includes Tetris. I hope that you all know and love it, and also it's celebrating its 40th anniversary today, so happy birthday, Tetris. Go and download and play. And yeah, that's me.
Cool. So we'll start with some trends. So the first half of 2024 almost ended. And do you see any trends that are new in the mobile marketing side that you see on CPI or on different channels that are new comparing to 2023? Chen, let's start with you.
Definitely felt the rising costs and the CPI increases this year. Also something I heard from today and from others in the industry. We had to make some adjustments to our marketing strategy, and we approached that in a few ways. First, we were looking for other alternatives within UA. We know that there is a high competition, and we wanted to relying less on the main big sources and seeking success with other inventory types. Doesn't always work, but we continue trying and testing all the time. Also, something that we realized that we can't keep on relying only on the traditional UA channels, and we were looking for alternatives to UA alternatives. One examples for us is TV, linear TV. We did a few big TV campaigns this year. That some of them were pretty much went well and were successful. And another direction that I think that we can share that we took is looking for markets outside US. Yes, everything that we can do to basically spread the risks. Another thing that I can tell, and it's a big focus for us, is the creative aspect. We decided to invest a lot, many resources in the creative processes. We hired creative strategies. We are working with AI tools to basically make more like a creative creation more effectively. And another example is we are working on some kind of we are working on a predictive ad fatigue model that basically predicted in advance which creative will stop working based on a predefined criteria. Yes, again, everything we can do to improve the upper funnel metrics and combat these increases. And actually, I'll be super interesting to understand from others in the panels how what are you doing to combat those increases as well.
Cool, Talia. What about the trends that you're seeing this year?
Okay, so for us, I would say that the main hurdle is the massive competition and the increasing puzzle category. And if we're looking at Tetris, for example, so the revenue model is based on ads. And when the revenue model is based on ads, you need to maintain low CPI in order to return the investment. So I would say that for us, the struggle is not the increasing CPI per se, because we're working very hard to maintain it, but the massive competition that eventually limits our share of voice. So, I would say those are the two main, let's say, struggles that we have. Also, what we see that a lot of direct and non-direct competitors are trying to mimic Tetris element, for example, whether it's the store icon, the name of the app, the description, or even the ad itself. And we are trying, to fight back. And we're working a lot on our creative efforts, and we're good. I mean, we're good. We're here, and we're here to stay. And I guess we're doing something that they are trying to mimic us.
And Tomer, is there anything new that your guys is doing in Lightricks in 2024? Any trends, any new channels that are
So
new
it's hard
channels?
being third after everything that the lady said. I do agree, but again, it's something that happens almost every year. The increase in CPIs, the competition is rising, the prices are rising. You will see it constantly. It's like something that happens every year. I think that some of the things that we did at Lightricks this year is, again, significant improvement of the creative ideation and processes. Basically, we're delivering hundreds of creatives a week to really understand what would be the best ways to go. Again, we release a lot of features, and we're trying to be the next trendsetters with everything related to beauty, fashion, or whatnot with our various products. So that's one of the things that we invested a lot, but not only in creatives, but also the creation of our web flow with our web funnels, also with the CPPs to create a one flow to really make it seamless to the user. They see an ad, okay, reach the same CPP, reach for a specific landing page just for you to get the more smooth flow. Another thing is the diversification of the media channels. And you address it perfectly, I think, because again, the go-to, the straight go-to would be the Facebook and the Googles and Apple searches. Obviously, you want to protect your brand or whatever, but I do think that's something that was a buzzword in the last couple of years that really spiked in the recent year or so is the connected TV that has been rising significantly, and you see a lot of media vendors going in that direction, and you also see the direct media vendors selling it. Netflix that created an ad tier, for example, Hulu and other big folks. I also think that in general, when we're looking on the automation processes, so we did a lot of automation on, okay, as performance marketeers, you know, it takes some time to identify red flags, okay? If you have anomalies, so we did create a system that alerts us on a daily basis if it identifies any anomalies, whether it's from CPI perspective, CPM, clicks, conversions, etc. So it immediately notifies us. So it's much easier to identify it and to react much more quickly than, okay, let's wait. Then we start seeing a trend and then start thinking, okay, where did it originate from and what can we do about that? So I think that's pretty much the thing that we focused on the last year.
Awesome. So I think it won't be a growth panel and speaking about trends without saying the word privacy in the mobile marketing area. And it's actually been, you know, it's been 3 years since iOS 14.5 launched. And the app landscape changed a lot, but there are still things that are still as usual, and it didn't change, I think, the industry as many thought. We always hear Google's privacy sandbox is around the corner. It's always around the corner for some reason and not coming up. So how, in your businesses, how did that change the way that you work? Ofir, let's start with you, because on your side it changes a lot, probably.
Yeah, I can speak from the vendor side. So most of our partners, they use what's called probabilistic attribution. We still get the scan postbacks. We send them to the MMP. Everything is really nice, but from the way we see it, they are less actionable. So most of the clients still lean purely on probabilistic, because then they can still get the events from the long term without any thresholds, without any delays, like we have with Scan. We believe that Scan 5.0 might have some improvements. Hopefully they hear the industry and will improve. We know that some solutions for retargeting should come in 5.0. About privacy sandbox, in my opinion, and I think I'm the only one that thinks that it will take a few years for the industry to adapt, because we still have cookies. And I don't see Google rushing to push it. The solution is doable but complex, and I think the industry will take a few years to adopt it. That's how I see it.
And Talia, how privacy changed things in Playstudios?
Okay, so like you said, it's been 3 years, so I would say that this is our reality now. It's like, I don't feel like it's something new anymore. And I also think that we are not where we were 3 years ago when it comes to measurement and capabilities and tools that we have to evaluate, organic and paid, for example. So we're definitely not where we were before. And what we are doing is looking in a more holistic view, let's say. You need to look at the overall picture. Of course, it brings challenges when it comes to evaluating new activity or even legacy Sun. But you gotta play with the card you got. It's not us to decide whether to adopt it or not. We just can try to be smarter and learn from our activity and hope that we are right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I pretty much agree with the word holistically, because I think this is in the most dominant way that the UA environment change is that in general it's a term that I don't like, user acquisition. It's like an ugly term, like we're buying or paying for the people to play our games. So we are doing marketing, and I think that taking measurement to an holistic place took us in a very different ways to start doing marketing and look on impact more than on direct attribution. So this is how I see it. But on the other side, there's a lot of chicken in the egg, and in the past 3 years that many vendors are not adopting scan. There are some that started to adapt to scan, but most of the DSPs, rewarded videos channels, are quite late bloomers in adopting scan because they don't need to. And then there are a lot of advertisers that like being on the probabilistic side. So it goes both ways. But I think if we just move on to our next topic about automation, innovation, and also considering scan, so Chen has something to tell us about how they are taking scan and breaking the chicken and the egg.
Yes, so in general, I think that when I'm looking at, I think it's a great question for us, because when we look at automation and AI, and we know that many companies have advanced significantly with everything related on that, and besides the creative aspect that I mentioned before, we took firstly the AI and automation to other direction. I think slightly another direction. First, we have, I think that we have the best edtech team in the industry. They really makes magic, and one of the things, like one of the example, the key development that we did this year is developed a predictive churn model with collaboration with Pecan AI, for those who are familiar with Pecan. And these models basically predict the chances of users to come back to the game, and we extensively use this model for retargeting. This is the first thing we did with AI. And yes, regarding what you said in the chicken and the egg, I know it's like it's unlike others, but we fully adopted scan for measurement. It's even more than that. I think today we operate almost entirely based on scan, and we almost exclusively work only with vendors or partners that can use scan, and almost not consider those who can't. I know it's not common. I heard a lot. It's not common, but we find it super successful for us. If I'm looking at the last year, we managed to scale iOS quite significantly. And even when we compare scan to probabilistic, we find the measurement based on scan more accurate.
Amazing. That's incredible news. And Tomer, your business at Lightricks is basically all around AI. So I'm sure you have something to tell us about how you guys using AI and in innovation of automation in your ad campaigns.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I started touching that a bit but again, from the creative process, again, it makes wonders, and it makes it much easier for us to find the holy grail every now and then that can sustain campaigns, especially on the Metas and TikToks, that the saturation there is much quicker. So that's one of the things that helped us a lot to grow and scale, especially with the renaissance of Meta after a very struggling year for Meta. But we do see that things are kind of starting to balance out. So that's one of the things. Second thing is regarding, for example, Apple search ads and the keyword research and execution. Either it's in the States or English-speaking countries, but also understanding for the non-so common, like expanding also, as you mentioned, to other territories that helped us a lot to understand where should we go and how to. Same goes out for CPP. And also for CRM and retention activities, we have a platform that once you want to send some sort of a message, you can just write, similar to ChatGPT, but fit for us and our products. You can write a prompt. It starts writing you the message that you want. You can define the length, how many paragraphs, what's the message, what's the tone, more official, less formal. And then it helps you to expedite the processes. You don't need to do a lot of A/B testing and stuff like that. So, and it works. So it helps us a lot. Also, connecting to what you said, so our data science team helped us a lot with predictive models for our subscription-based business model, and it proves itself quite accurate. I will say that when looking on scan versus probabilistic, we do look on both. You cannot ignore it because eventually some people work like that, some people work like that. Eventually, we do look on the holistic view of things. And when, for example, we start a new vendor, we start it out, and then we start observing, okay, how the organic reacts, how other channels are reacting, what's the impact on the revenue and CPA of all other direct marketing activities and non-direct marketing. And then we can understand, okay, what's the impact of it. But you can't ignore scan, you can't ignore maybe someday Apple would drop the hammer and no more probabilistic.
We just wanted to prepare for a world where probabilistic is not an option anymore. And it's coming. So
again, at some point it will arrive. Sandbox will arrive at some point. Again, there was just a conference last week talking about, I don't know, in the next six months or so. But again, same was said about scan, but who knows? But again, we need to be prepared. You cannot work with one eye is closed. You got to stay prepared. You got to stay sharp, understand what are the changes that are occurring, and to be prepared. Sometimes it will, at some point it will happen, and you don't want to be caught by surprise and, okay, what's next?
Yeah, it's interesting, and it's actually, I think it's WWDC next week, and I'm always anxious before WWDC to hear what Apple will release on privacy next. And Ofir, I'm sure you guys have a lot of AI and automation tools besides the iOS part. So what you have for us?
So I wouldn't call it AI. Let's call it statistical models. So the core of the product is like to understand who is going to react to advertisement and basically install the app, and then if the guy will purchase or not, or how much he will pay, and so on. So that's the core of the product. Recently, we started to explore things around generative AI, but not in terms of like generating the creatives ourselves, but trying to extract features from the creatives. So we look at the creatives and then we have a model to extract features from them. And then let's say we see a slot machine, then we extract the theme of this machine, and this becomes a feature for the model that selects the creative. And then we can understand, okay, young females, they like more pink style, slot machine, and all guys will like Zeus themed slot machine and so on. So it helps with the creative selection. Just one note regarding what you said, Tom, about creating hundreds of creatives at once. And it happens to us with a lot of partners that they just throw thousands of creative at us. And you need to understand that there is exploration cost. And sometimes it's better not to throw thousands of creatives on your vendor and try to get the best 5 or 10 that a human being reviewed and think they will work. Because still we feel like we're in a stage that there is no replacement to human beings in the process. So Gen AI is a great tool to use, but in the ideation and everything, it still have to be done by humans. So that's like a note for UA guys that you don't want to spend your budget on exploring like thousands of creatives.
Amazing. So when we met just to get prepared for this panel, we realized that most of us know each other for the past years, and we have changed our workplaces in the past years, some of us, and we are very diverse in the way that our businesses are looking like, and the sizes of the businesses, from very small startups to very large corporates, from in-app ads, to IAP, to subscription model, to being a vendor. So the last question for you guys is, working on different business models and looking at what you're focused today, what you think is the most exciting for you about what you're doing today in the specific category that you are focused on? And on the other side, well, what is your biggest challenge? I can start from the perspective of being in a very small startup that's going to grow its game in the coming year and a half, and we are not in a size of Scopely that we can spend like $1 billion on launching a new game. How we are going to compete those giants? And I think my answer that I'm answering to myself is to take our game, our first game, Fish of Fortune, and make the K factor of it very significant. Meaning, how we invest in virality, how we invest in being a good product, a really good product that spread itself, and invest in our social media and our organic growth, besides, yeah, spending on paid media. But I think this is the way for us to grow in the coming months and years. So I wanted to address the same question for you, Tomer. What do you find moving from a gaming company focused on IAP to a more subscription-based models?
Completely different ball game, to be honest, from looking on IAPs and cohorts from day 1 to day 7, day 14, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So one of the challenges here is looking on the users and, number one, identify who will subscribe, because we have also a 7-day free trial, who will convert to become a paying user, how much time will they remain in the app, how can we create trends to make us more viral, as you said, improve the K factor. So this is one of the major challenges that we have, to really try to understand how we can we promote, besides direct marketing, besides the user acquisition that you said. You cannot ignore the other aspects of the marketing world. So we're constantly working on additional features that we think that not only can be a nice gimmick and a nice add up to our products, but we also try to think, okay, what is currently trending? How can people use it, and how can people want to use it and spread it for us? Okay, we want to use our audiences, our users, as a marketing tool by itself. Okay, because we were able just, I think, a few months ago to create a trend that brought us from, I don't know, several tens of thousands of installs in a specific region to hundreds of thousands of installs a day. How? By one of the features that a person started using, shared it on TikTok, Instagram, etc., social media, and again, more people saw it. The hashtag was Video Leap, for example, one of our products, and then you saw, okay, it's becoming more and more viral, and you saw the immediate impact of it. So we're constantly trying to make it work in that aspect, and I think that we've done it quite successfully. One of the challenges is also to find, okay, what's next? As I was saying, we have our latest initiative, which is LTX Studio, which is, again, something that will enable users to create an entire storyboard, either if you want to create, for example, a video ad for your game or your product. You can do it without, the effort of filming the ad, production value, bringing actors or whatnot. You can just write a prompt. We can help you also enhance it with our AI models. Eventually, you will get a complete storyboard. Think about it if you're a movie creator. You get a complete storyboard. You can change every scene of the storyboard and to create something that will be in the look and feel of your product. You can publish it. If you're a movie creator, you want to create a pitch, you can make it happen. So this is one of the challenges to also find the new initiatives that will help us eventually bring imagination to real life, to creation. That's like the whole motto of the company. Bring your imagination to a reality, and I think that we're doing it quite successfully. Time is up for me, so thank you.
Talia, you want to share with us some of the changes that you're feeling? Moving on to IAA games?
Yeah, okay, so first I want to say that I agree with what you said before, and not because you were my manager. It's not enough to spend a lot of money. You need to invest in other stuff, and of course you need to have a good product, right? When it comes to challenges, so in my portfolio we have Tetris, and we have new games, and we have board games and solitaire, and games in development, and games that we just released yesterday. Tetris Block Puzzle, a new game to the portfolio of Tetris, so you can download and play it. You'll have fun. So you see that it's like a lot of games in different stages. So obviously there are challenges. But if I put it aside, I think that what I like about my role is the fact that I get to do various things beside working on different game stages. I'm working with different departments. For example, you need to be very analytical, so you need to work closely with the data team. You need to be creative, so you need to work with a creative team. You need to stay on top of trends. You need to understand the industry. So you get to do a lot, and I think that this is what I like the most. I don't like just to do one thing or a routine that doesn't change. I don't like it. I feel it make me ugh. So I need action. I need to do stuff, and definitely not routine. So this is what this is why my day to day is interesting and fulfilling and eventually fun. And this is why I'm working in Playstudios for 4 years. So yeah.
Cool. We have 1 more minute for Chen.
I think I'm going to summarize what we all talked today. I want to say in general that what excites me most in my current position, it is the same thing that attracted me in the first place to this industry. The dynamic and the fast-paced nature, it's something that is always here. Just today we talked about AI and how we can leverage that and take advantage of that in our marketing efforts. We talked about how to prepare to the next privacy policy, the CPI increases, and I'm sure that next year we'll talk about totally different topics, and it will be more and more challenges. And this is it's challenging, but it makes things super interesting. Yes, and this is what makes it so fun for me, and this is what I like in my role.
Awesome. So we wanted to give a few minutes for questions, but we ran out of time. So thanks everyone for joining. I will say again, special thanks for everyone that came from abroad this year to IMS. We really appreciate it. Israel is here, and hopefully next year will be much bigger, much more comfortable, and everybody will be home.